Hello everyone, welcome to Rob's Repairs. Today I got a good one for you. Working on a 2500 Duramax diesel. Customer brought it in, says he just wants to fix this area. As you can see, it's already been repaired. So it's got a nice little crease in here, and it's the whole fender's been redone. So he wants me to just fix this area, stay as small as we can, and blend out the color, back tape it here, and blend out the color maybe to here, and then clear it to here. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is try to get some of this Bondo off of there. Just going to take and scrape it off. Just going to use it. Yeah, Bondo's only so flexible. It just happened, so there's no rust on it. It's not too thick. Okay, that's good. Try to keep the area clean. Now we got to figure out how we're going to get this dent out of here. He said it could put an access in the back here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, I made the access. Now I'm doing some scraping, trying to get this old Bondo off where the cracks were. I'm not too concerned about anything out here because we're not going to go out there. If I dug out all this Bondo, I'd probably do the whole fender. So we're just going to concentrate on the cracked areas. I got the vacuum sucking up the dust, so let's get to it. Try not to make too big of a mess. Just got to heat it up a little bit. Not too much, but this is all cracked right here underneath, so I'm going to dig this out. It's probably about 1/4 inch here thick. Just want to make sure you get all the cracked Bondo out of there. So all this other stuff is sticking, so I know the cracked one is pretty much as far as I went, so that's where all the cracks are. And I gotta dig it out a little bit anyway, but at least I can see what the metal looks like underneath it. You don't want to get it too hot and bubble everything. Just enough to scrape it off. Yeah, I could grind it off, but then I get dust everywhere and trying to keep the area clean. Okay, I think we're pretty good. Gonna pick up my mess quick. somewhat. And now I'm going to try to push out some of this dent. Let's see what we got. So yeah, without that Bondo on there, you couldn't really tell, but yeah, there's a nice, the body line kind of comes through here, and it's pushed in pretty good here. So it's hard to picture it with all the Bondo on it, but yeah, it looks a little better now. So I got my lights set up. I can kind of see where the tool is going to be. I think I'm going to start right here and see if this will just come out. And if it doesn't, then I'll start from here and work my way in. So I already got a tool in there. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, the Fender's super weak too. You can just see the whole thing moving. So I'm kind of wondering. Yeah, don't want to push too hard there. So I think I'm gonna have to push it here and see if I can just bring it out. So you can probably tell where I'm pushing. It's hard to see without paint. So basically I'm just going by the metal moving. Slow but sure. I was kind of down here a little bit. Gonna have to get this kink out of there. Now I'm up in this area. Just gently pushing. I'm gonna have to get this like pretty fast. I'm right here. Okay, look at that. It popped up. Great. Okay, now I'm gonna work this area because, well, that's actually looking better too, because this is holding us in for sure. Just gonna grab a quick knockdown. I'm just gonna stay on this ridge. I'm gonna turn on the vacuum. Might get a little noisy. So we got a ridge here where the metal folded in. We got a ridge here. So I'm going to try to stay on the ridge. We got a 1/4 inch of Bondo, so it doesn't have to be too perfect. It's got to be close, but it ain't going to be, it can't be this level. So the metal's just got to get back to where it used to be. Don't want to hit it where it doesn't need to be hit, so I'm feeling it. Gonna do this ridge here. Gently. I still got some cracks here I just noticed, so I'll make sure I get them. Okay, that's good enough for now. Turn the vacuum off. Now I'm gonna try to get inside of here now. Move the camera over a bit. Hopefully you can see it here. Okay, I'm gonna try to push in here now. Got some ridge here and a ridge here, and this is rounded, this part flat, this part rounded. So nice and round, and flat. So it should be a pretty basic repair if I can get this out of there. So let's see what's going on. I'm going to try to see if I can push in this area. Now I can kind of see where the tool is. Kinda. Not really though. Oh yeah, okay. I was a little further than I wanted to be. Okay, cool. Started moving. Don't want to push it too hard. Just enough to try to get it out. So I'm kind of trying to find this area here, which I did. I'm just trying to slowly see if I can push it, which I did. I see a ridge here, so I'm going to tap on that a bit. And here. So yeah, I'm using a little plastic covered tip here. Okay, I'm going to turn on the vacuum. Feels good. I can just see that hump in the light. I was going to use a pick hammer, but I'm not. Got another hammer. It's got a nice little roundness to it here. So I'm going to see if I can gently tap on that. Gonna feel and tap. Gently. I'm not putting too much pressure. This area here is nice. I'm not even worried about that. It looks good. Just gonna worry about this area. Feels funky right in here, but it's supposed to have a curve to it, so I'm just going to give it a little tap. Move my light so I can kind of see it. So I'm going to push right here. This area here needs to be pushed. So I'm going to I'm looking at it this way too, so I can, with the light, I can see the tool. I was up just a little bit more than I wanted to be. And I actually use my leg to push the tool in instead of my arms, because that was a hard push. Now I'm going to feel it and tap it, because I know I pushed a little bit too much. Now when you got Bondo on something, it's really hard to feel it. So remember, I got 1/4 inch of Bondo right here, so the metal's probably at its normal height, but it's low to the Bondo. So I got to build the metal, this area, to this. So that's kind of what so I know that this area, once I think it's feeling good, I'm just gonna get it ready for Bondo and make the Bondo work. If that makes any sense. So yeah, I'm thinking we're pretty good. Feels good this way. Remember, it's a hump and a hump and a flat. This fender probably should have been replaced way back in the day when I fixed it. Feels a little something right here, so I'm just going to use the flat part of the hammer so I don't damage it too much. It's actually a run right there. Nice. Okay, feeling better now. Don't want to dent it too much, just want to tap in the metal. Now I still got a crack here, so I'm going to go ahead and get that out of there before we do anything. Probably don't need the light on anymore. This is a good way to get the Bondo down to where it needs to be without grinding. Just heat it up. Hopefully that's good. Just make sure you know where all the cracks are before you start doing what I'm doing here. And I'm kind of re-looking, making sure I don't see them. Because if you don't fix them, it'll bite you in the long run. So now I'm going to take and clean this area up with my buzz wheel, and we'll go from there. You can see a lot of sand scratches up in here. This whole fender is sand, one big sand scratch. You can actually see it's too yellow too. To the truck. I'm not charging this guy much, so I want to get it done quick. He's a buddy. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this in the vacuum and see what we got. I'm just going to feather it back. A little noisy. Blew a fuse. Yep, power went out in the garage. So anyway, finished grinding around the edges of the Bondo. Got it nice and clean up in there. They put bond. You can put Bondo over paint. You can kind of see the existing finish, and then they got Bondo on top of that. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to 40 it, the area that I want to put some Bondo, to get it prepped up and good scratch, so the Bondo will stick to the old Bondo, and that's what I'm going to do now. You want to make sure you tape everything off so you don't hit it with the DA. Hope the fuse don't blow in here. Okay, got 40 around the edge where I want to mud it. Now I'm going to take some 80. Just going to go 80 on the outer edge, just to make sure we're all scratched up. Kind of wanted to knock some of the 40 scratches down. Now I'm going to take the 40 just by hand. I'm going to rough up the Bondo just in this area here. Just to make sure that my Bondo is going to stick. Vacuum it off real good and we're ready for mud. Let's see. Feel it one more time. Feels funky because of the Bondo being high and the metal being low. So I'm just feeling this outer edge. Can I make the Bondo work? Feels a little weird here, but I'm going to let it fly. Feels good here. Maybe high here. Just going to use the tip of the hammer there. Yeah, it's really, I mean, 1/4 inch to, it's a big drop. It's hard to feel it. I think we're good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get some mud on. Okay, ready for Bondo. Got my mask on because I don't like breathing the Bondo smell. Now I'm putting in some hardener. First thing you probably want to do, if the hardener sits for a while, knead it up. Otherwise it's runny. You don't want that. Probably got a little too much Bondo there. It's about all the hardener I'm going to put in. It's warm out today. Let's light this candle. I don't want to mess around. I always clean the spreader before I dig in. Make sure everything's mixed. Clean the spreader. That's it. Push it in good. Staying in the zone. So yeah, we got a big drop there. So Mud's a little thick, it's probably going to take a couple applications. Just going to wait for it to harden up a little bit. Looks like I mixed about the right amount. Yeah, I think it's getting hard. It's as good as she gets. Just going to clean up around the edges. It's hard now. Yep. Now it's hard now. Clean off the board. Ready for the next session. Tune back in when we're sanding. Hot tip, don't wait for it to get rock hard. Get on it. And form it. Especially when you're working with existing Bondo. Got 40 on here. It's a used 40. So, time for a new piece. Gonna chill out around there. Hopefully you can see what's going on. Okay, now I start feeling it because I got all the areas that were good pretty much down to level, to where they're not high. Now I can start feeling the mud and shaping it. It's already, you can already see the line coming in. Take these gloves off, don't need them. As long as my hands aren't greasy. So I think what I'll do is I'll just concentrate on this. Feel it. Feels a little high here. So I'll hit it a little bit. Feeling pretty good. I'll start working this area. Remember, it was low in here. And it was good here. So this is my guide. My guide. Not worried about this because it can get cleaned up with 80. There we go, down to the paint, so I'm going to stop. Now it's feeling good right here. A little bit more in here sanding, and remember it was a 1/4 inch low here. Let's see what we got. Good there. Pretty much good here. Bodywork 101. How to repair an existing filler. Now I'm just sanding straight, not bringing it back and forth, especially in this area, trying to keep the scratches to a minimum. Going forward, back, whatever it takes. Keeping the shape. Now the Bondo obviously is low in these areas that aren't scratched. Just working it. Feeling it. This is where, you want to make sure it's good. Otherwise you're going to be too high or too low. Feels a little funky down in here, so I'm going to let it rip. But right here feels pretty good. So my second coat, take care of that, no problem. That line looks pretty nice and straight. Now I'm going to take some 80 and finish around these edges. Actually, I'm going to go 120. Don't really need 80 right there. Try to knock the scratches down now. Remember that run that was in there I said? Bye-bye. No more run. So we had 80 grit on the outside edge. I'm going to try to get it down to 120. That'll help with sand scratches at the end of the job. Not worried about this Bondo there because there's nothing for it to stick to. So I'm not going to get in there with sandpaper. So I just want to back tape it with primer up. I'm not concerned about this either. Nothing sticks to it. I do feel some chipping here, so I will sand this a little bit. It's actually got a little rust on that edge, I'm noticing. But I'll do that when I'm ready to prime. So I'm feeling it. Feels pretty good. Not getting in a hurry, because I'd like to finish it on the next coat. Just gonna look it over. Yep, feels good. I think I will knock this 40 down though. Okay, good enough. You can see some pinholes in the Bondo. I don't know if you can or not, but there's little ones. That's why you want to vacuum it, blow it, do what you got to do. I'm going to give it a little blow. Just to make sure we ain't got no dust in the Bondo. Okay, we're going to get a little mud going. Okay, can't talk with the mask on. So basically what I did, I could have got a little better with the mud. Just filled the low spot. No reason to go over the whole thing. Hopefully I can get this. Ah, oh, barely. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna sand this. I put a little extra hardener in there too. So I filled the low spot and I put extra hardener in there so it hardens faster. It's already starting to harden up. Now what I want to do is I want to sand this pretty quick. Give it a little bit longer, and so I knock this down and I don't touch this. I'm going to hit it with 40 so it goes fast. It's going to clog the paper, so I'm going to use a wire brush to keep it clean, and then I'll finish it with 80. So that's my goal. I probably will knock this down a little bit, but overall it's going to be ready for glaze, and that's good enough for one more coat after this, and she's ready to roll. Fill the pinhole scratches, and we're good. Bondo gets pretty hot, so yeah, let's give it another 30 seconds maybe. Actually, I think 80 will probably be the answer. We'll see. I think I'll go 40 quick. Gently. Try not to get the 40 scratches up there. Feathering it down here. You can already see it. Don't need the gloves. I'll get it the way it needs to be. Looks pretty close. Now I'm going to switch to 80, but look at it clog the paper. Woo! Use the wire brush, clean it out. Let me get on it with some 80 quick. Probably could use 120, but and I'm still feeling it. Still gotta shake it. Just kind of working the scratches all over. Feels good up here. A little fat right there. Better. Better. Not bad. 80's pretty dull too, it's a used piece. Now's the time to get it shaped. It looks pretty good. Feels a little funky right here where the new and the old is, so I'll make sure I bring the glaze all the way over. My scratches go all the way out to here. Yeah, almost feels high. My stuff feels high. I'm just gonna okay, now I'm down to the first coat. There's where it was low. Always watch your mud so you know what's going on with it. Okay, it definitely feels better now. So I was a little bit high right here. And it still kind of feels high, but I think we'll just do the overall on it, and if it is high, we'll knock it down. Feels funky right here. I didn't feel it before. Feels good here. Funky right here. So I got the 80. Better. Feels, every time I stand on it, it feels better. It's almost like it's a little bit high. Could be a little low though too. Low is good, high is not. Line looks pretty good. We'll know, I think we'll know more when we get the last coat on here. So I think I'm just going to leave it. Got a 120 up there. Feels good. Make sure we didn't get any 40 scratches up there. We're 80. Another thing forgot to mention is Bondo is critical. You want to use a quality Bondo. Don't be buying some $10 gallon Bondo if you're going to be going over any kind of paint. I use Rage. It's about 80 plus a gallon. Goes a long way. Worth every penny. Sticks to paint. So yeah, let's blow this off. Or vacuum it. Most of those pinholes are gone where I applied the second coat. Yeah, I won't be able to tell, or I won't be able to talk to you when I'm putting on the coat because I got my mask on. But what I'm going to do is try to fill all the pinholes first. Just going to use a really thin skin, and all this is going to be thin anyway. Know where your low spot is that you want to fill, and then everything else is just thin skin. So there isn't going to be much sanding after the fact here, after this next coat. I don't want to have to redo everything. I'm looking at this line, it looks pretty good. So we'll get the line really good, and if it needs a little something, we could probably finish it with primer. So just remember, 3 coats of primer is going to make something better too. So this doesn't have to be a perfect repair, but I'm pretty picky when it comes to any kind of repair. So let's get some mud on it. It's as good as she gets. Okay, it's been drying for a little bit. I'm gonna use 120 to start out with. Shape it up. Don't need the air right now. I want to make sure the sandpaper's on this edge, close to the edge, so I can get this area. Just knocking it down. I'm going to stop right there. Finish the rest of it with 180. I could use 80 right now, but trying to keep the scratches down. And I know there's not much mud there, so should be okay. So I'm just going to work the outer edge. There, I got to get the sandpaper on this edge. I just see the Bondo feathering back. That's it. Move on. Move on. Go with the contour. Knock down the high spots there. Tried to keep the Bondo somewhat clean on the edges, you know. Don't want to be digging into that other stuff. Being careful right here. Kind of got down to the primer there, so I want to stop. Don't want that to become low. Feels pretty good. Trying to save this side of the Bondo. And then come on out. You can see right here I'm down to the existing primer, so I want to stop. I don't want to sand much there. Otherwise I'll make it low and then I'll have to put more Bondo on. I know this edge is good, so I can sand it right down. Keeping the block flat and moving. Right down to the existing, so I'm going to stop. Got to get the sandpaper down lower. Looking good. Not worried about that edge because it should just flake off of there. Okay, now I'm going to start worrying about this edge, this curve. I'll clean it up here first. Now this is 120. Sandpaper is getting a little dead. So I'm going to switch it out to another piece. Just waiting for the sandpaper to feather back. Or the Bondo, not the sandpaper. But remember, I thought I felt a little edge between here and here. So that's kind of what I'm feeling for. It feels good. A little high. Feels pretty good. Little bumpy right here. So that's kind of what we're doing now. I'm going to go ahead and work this area. Feel it? Sand it. Feeling pretty good. A little something right here. So I'm going to go this angle. See a little chip here or something. A little something in the bond. I'm not going to worry about it. Not yet. Not going to try to sand it out, because it'll make everything low. I can always fill that in when I'm done. Feels pretty good. So I'm going from good to new. Trying to make that feel good. Not bad right now, so I'm going to leave it just for now. Now I'm going to work this area. Start at the bottom. Feels a little funky in here. Bumper's in the way, so it's kind of hard, but you just got to work around it. Better. A little something here. Kind of got some scratch right there, didn't like that. Got to keep the block down. I'll be able to sand this out with 180, no problem. Plus primer's going to be there anyway. Try to keep the primer, you know, about an inch away from what we got now. Keep the area small. Feeling good here. Feels pretty good this way. Not bad this way. Feeling pretty good. Now I'm going to start worrying about this. Not looking too bad, as is. We'll see what we can do with it. I'm going to use some of this guide coat. They don't need much. I'm almost going to switch to 180. Because eventually I want to be 180 all the way. This is a used 180, so hopefully it'll be okay. Now everything's good in here. I'm just going to work that outer edge. That's all I really want to work. You can see those pits. Not worried about them. Knocking down the 120 scratches while I'm here. Feels real good. Okay, like I say, I'm not worried about them little lows. We'll fill these in with mud if we have to. I'm just looking at the contour now. A little more guide right on this inner edge. This has got a roundness to it too. So I'm not going to worry about the round right now, I just want to get the shape. Just going to run the block like this. Keep it flat. Get the shape. Looking pretty good, except for the pits. So now it's time to fill in the pits. I'm going to take and vacuum it up. Little blow. Make sure I'm not blowing dust everywhere. And fill in them pits. Get a little skim on that. Okay, got a little Bondo on the little chips and whatever going on there. Now I'm going to prep it. While this is drying, I'm going to get it ready for primer. catch those chips that I saw right here. Okay, I just filled it in here a little bit and sanded it fast so it didn't knock down any of the existing. So that's pretty much not ready to go yet, but we are going to put a little more guide on it and then continue sanding it. Want to make sure we get the scratch down to 120 or the 180 if we can. Just want to take it easy with it. Barely coming up to the edge. Can't feel the nick. Now don't forget we got to round that edge. So we're going to save that for last. Bring in the sandpaper this way. Trying to keep the scratch. Cover up the 120 scratch. Just taking it easy right here. Don't want anything to get out of whack. This is all pretty much done here anyway. But I didn't really put guide coat on this stuff, so I wanted to get it back on there just to make sure we were down to 180. Stand right off the line, you can kind of see it. Got a little bit of Bondo right there, not a big deal. We'll hit that with 320. Feeling it, feels good. Feels better than good. Feels pretty good here, not bad. Keeping it flat. Okay, let's hit that edge. All I'm going to do is just going to roll the paper just like that. The edge is already the way I want it. That's it. I might just hit it. We don't want to square the edge, we just want to keep it round. So there you go. Feels something right here. Not going to worry about it because primer will cover it. Okay, we're going to leave it. Now I'm going to 320 it all the way to here, all the way to the grill. Tape the grill off first. Wish we could pull the grill out of there, but he didn't want to spend any more money, so we're going to have to tape it off. I don't think they pulled it the first time anyway. You want to make sure you're not on the paint. The grill is like right on the paint. Okay, that's good. Might as well get some tape down here. We're going to back tape it right here anyway. So I'm basically just going to cover this so we don't sand it. Don't want to hit the chrome. Okay, now we're ready for 320. Pretty hard to DA in here with 320, so I'll probably end up hand sanding it. So I'm just kind of looking to see where I need to be. And I'm just going to start on the other side of the 180 scratches. Which ends right there. And I remember I hit it right there with some 120, so I want to make sure I get that down. Kind of dropping down in a little bit. Not enough to change anything. Okay, that's looking good. Gonna finish this. Make sure you get a good scratch with 320. Gonna hit this line once. Going to get the paper in between the fender and the grill. I like to use my nail in there. I'm going to use a scuff pad in there too. Red one will work. Got underneath the fender good. Get inside the fender here. Might as well just go over everything. Doesn't hurt. Ready to prime. Okay, I showed you those scratches in there, little chips. So I'm going to basically just tape this part of it off. I'm going to use the seam sealer and just tape the seam sealer off when I do the fender, so keep everything small. You can see where they kind of overlap Bondo in here the last time they did it, so that's going to have to be like that. They did it up there too. There's a crack of Bondo there, a bunch of chips all the way around. We're not getting into that because we're going to blend the color. Probably stop clearing like right here. I'll show you what it looks like when it's in primer. Get ready. Oh, well, I'll prime it, prep it, get it ready to paint, and we'll tune back in. Okay, she's ready to rock and roll. I already got it wax and grease, just gotta tack it and start doing some bass. So I'm not gonna be able to talk much. I'm gonna try to keep the color as low as I can here, just blend it up a little bit, and we're gonna bring the clear up to the tape line, and we're gonna melt the clear in somewhere in that area. So we'll get the bass on it first, and hopefully everything will go good, and we'll get going on it right now. Okay, we got it painted. Not bad. Pretty decent. Line looks good. Don't see anything too crazy in it. Turned out pretty clean too. So this is where pretty much melted it in right here. Guess one thing I didn't talk about was prepping. What I ended up doing to this whole area here is I sanded it down with a gray or a gold scuff pad. So probably like 1,000 grit maybe to here in this area, and then a gold scuff pad the rest of the way. A lot of guys loop and all that. I don't worry about it because this stuff here will get buffed off, and you can hear it. All this overspray will just get buffed off, not a big deal. So what we're going to address right now is this blend. I don't know, the blend, it's always dry a little bit on the blend. That's to be expected, especially when you stop in the middle of a panel. So what I used was, it's called Blend Ease. When I was done with the clear, I went in with the Blend Ease with that other gun that I'm sure you saw. I just gently dusted right on the edge where the clear stopped, and I kind of hit it and went that way, hit it, went that way, and then I air dried it because it's really it's just like water, but it evaporates really fast, and it's supposed to melt in the edge of the clear, which it does. It does a pretty good job. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna address this area right here and maybe do a little quick buff. Doesn't need much. I mean, this thing was repainted. Remember, it had sand scratches all over the place, and we're not getting carried away with it anyway, so I'm probably not even gonna buff in here because it looks really nice. But maybe up in here it looks a little nibby, so I'll just maybe hit it with 2,000 quick. But what I want to address is right here. This is where I want to talk about. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to hit it. I'm just going to gently hit it with 2,500 just over that edge. That's it, real gently. And then we're going to peel this paper back, or the plastic back, and we're going to buff. Right here, there's no overspray. And then you can hear the overspray. No overspray, you can hear it. Previous guy, you know, there's sand scratches here, so I'm not going to even try to get them out. All I want to do is get the overspray off from here to my melt area, because there's no overspray here. So let's get to it. I'm going to just use some 2,500 right there. I kind of like to get this area done first, because if it doesn't work, if it's really bad, I'm going to end up repainting it anyway, so there's no reason to do anything else. So just going to use some 2,500. This is it's an old piece, so it's not real aggressive. I'm going to use a block, hard block, a little bit of water, make sure there's no dirt on there. And I don't really even have to do anything with it. It turned out really nice, the blend. It's not real dry, it's not seedy. And I don't know if you saw me have the gun pointed this way. So when I cleared it like this. So the overspray was all going back. It wasn't going this way. If it goes this way, you're SOL, it ain't gonna work. You have to, minimal overspray in order to melt it in. So I just kept doing that. I stopped. It was pretty tough to do too, especially on white. So overspray is huge right here. You don't want overspray on your blend. So there's hardly anything there. I really don't have to do anything. It turned out really good. So I'm just gonna that's it. I mean, maybe up here just a little bit. I can't even really see the melt in here, so I'm not going to worry too much. Right up in this area, it's pretty choppy from the previous repair, so I'm not even going to worry about that much. And then I back taped it here, and I brought the clear all the way up. I don't even really feel an edge there because I rolled the tape. So, and then I melted that edge in too. So basically all I'm going to do here is buff. I'm not even going to sand. And then I brought the gold all the way up into this area too. So the scuff pad. So we're just going to buff. All we really got to do is just buff this top of the fender. So yeah, all I did was I just used the gold scuff pad right in this area. Not a big deal because that just buffs right off. And then I melted in this edge when I was done. So there's a line right here. I don't know, kind of where the blendies was, but that'll buff right off. Not a big deal here. So yeah, this turned out really nice. So I'm not even gonna, I know this is gonna buff out sweet, so I'm just gonna go ahead and 2000 this a little bit, seeing how it's nice and clean, and we'll just go ahead and get it buffed. So I'll 2000 and then I'll 25 over that. It's always good to go 25 over it. So I'm just gonna do it by hand quick. Doesn't need much. I'm not gonna worry about down in here because it turned out really nice. And I guess we could do up here a little bit. It looks pretty choppy. But this is a low budge job. Don't have to get carried away. I'm gonna pull out the big buffer. Okay, another thing is when you buff this edge, you don't want to get like massive heat on it. Plus it's pretty fresh, you know. It's only sat for just overnight. So you're just going to want to make sure the buffer's going this way too. Off the edge. Not onto the edge, off the edge. Up here I'm going to use my trusty little buffer up in this area. And then I can use the big buffer on that flat. But this is critical here. Make sure you're going off the edge. And then check it. Don't just sit there and create a ton of heat because it's going to buff up pretty fast. I'm gonna buff pretty slow here. I'm kind of going back into the overspray area. It's not a big deal. Like I say, it's probably off already. Yeah, you just want to take it easy on this area and keep it, keep wiping it, looking at it. And I barely even touched it with the buffer, so it's still going to need some buffing. But don't try to buff it all at once. I can see it looks really good here, a little dry here, and then maybe need something right there. So now I'm just going to go ahead and kind of hit it here where I think it's dry. Like you say, you don't want to get it too hot, you just want to buff it. Now if I wanted to, I could hit it with 2500 again right here if I wanted to, but I know you can't see it, but there's like lines through here, and I'm not sure, what it's from. Obviously the previous repair, so I'm not going to worry about that. That's not my concern. My concern is just buffing down that edge so it looks decent, and it's pretty close right now, because don't forget you got glaze after that. Keep it flat, keep it moving. Don't hear the overspray no more. You're always going to see something, maybe. If you're really, really, really lucky, you won't see anything, but I always say that even a little bit is okay, especially when you stop it, A lot of guys, I know the right way to do it would be to do the whole fender, but don't forget I gave this guy a super deal. He didn't want, spend a lot of money on it. Nobody wants to spend any money these days, so you gotta cut corners. This will hold up. So I see something, it's like that's not going away and I don't really like it. So I'm going to see if I can make it a titch better, but you don't want to make it worse. I'm just going to do it by hand. I wiped it so I know it's clean. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. Don't care about the water. You don't want to take or buff so much that you end up seeing a line. The reason why you see a line is because it's too dry. Guys will bring their clear up to here and then the overspray goes that way, and you can't really melt in the overspray then. It's just too much. So like I say, you want to make sure the overspray is going that way. Keep the gun going that way. That's why when I painted, I was going just like this and I stopped. Just like that, and I stopped. I didn't like bring it back and do all this and that. So it turned out pretty sweet. So I'm pretty happy with the way it is now. I'm gonna hit it just one more time and call it good right here. kind of see what I'm talking about. White is really tough to blend in for sure. I'm not sure if you can see it with this. Yeah, you're not gonna really be able to see it, but no, you can't see it. It's pretty sweet. It turned out pretty nice. You will not see anything outside. I wish the camera picked it up a little better, but yep. So that's what you got. So now I'm just gonna finish buffing, which isn't gonna be much now because I only sanded right to here. I just gotta come down and hit this upper edge here quick. And then glaze it. I'm gonna throw my little ear buddies on here. Looks like I can get up in here pretty good with the big buffer, so I'm just going to hit that again. A little bit more right in here. It's always good to wipe it off and look at it good so you know what you're doing, where it needs to be buffed. Looks good. Good enough. I'm pretty picky, so I want to make it as good as it can be. You can kind of see it better at this angle. Yeah, you can kind of see a dry edge right there. Just, oh man, you got to squint to see it. So now we'll hit it with some glaze. Yep, just do the whole thing with some glaze quick. Don't need a lot. that should do it. Looks pretty good. Yeah, he'll definitely be happy with this job. White is probably one of the harder colors to melt in and blend, and this color actually wasn't as white. Whoever painted it wasn't as white as the rest of the truck, so the color I had actually matched pretty good, so that's what we got. But yeah, if you want to practice melting, just go grab yourself a junk Fender, put some clear on it, stop it, and melt it in. And try to keep that overspray going this way. So straight line, don't try to feather it out, don't thin out the clear, nothing. Just bring it, stop it, melt it, buff it. Don't worry about looping your paper, just tape off the area. The other, the overspray will come off, it will be very minimal. I'm going to show you that blend ease. It's called One Choice. SX840 PPG uniform finish blender. Definitely works good. So hope you guys learned something on the video. Try to teach you what I know if I can. Got any questions or comments? Let me know. Yeah. Appreciate you watching. Liking, subscribing, maybe sharing. And we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks again for watching.